Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by LaFair's Casino. Ronnie Rants alongside Tommy Krysan here on this Championship Monday edition. TK over at Court Street Cafe in Port Allen. And I'm coming to you from the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame studios, where it all comes down to this. Game 3 of the series. We know who Florida is going to pitch. Jack Caglianone is going to go on the bump. Florida's had its same 3 in the starting rotation all season long. This is a guy who was a finalist for the Golden Spikes Award, a great hitter. He's made 17 starts before this year. He's got an opponent's batting average against him, 186. That is sick. He is his own worst enemy. He's got a bunch of walks. He's got 52 walks in 73 and a third innings, and he's plunked 12 batters. So that's 64 free passes in 73 and a third innings. That is a ton. And you would think that on the big stage, national championship game, Omaha, 25,000, a lot on the line, that the control would be an issue again. LSU should be patient. They've been patient as hitters all year long. They've done a great job of walking and getting hit by pitches. So hopefully that will continue for the Tigers tonight, and Caglianone will live up to his numbers. Now, that said, who will pitch for LSU, Tommy? That is the conversation everybody is having today.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, I've heard like all kind of possibilities. Now, here's what I think, okay? First off, I think Paul Skeens wants to throw. If you leave it up to him, he's going to throw. But it's up to Jay Johnson, conversation with Paul, his family, his agent, his people, whatever. I would think he could go 70 to 75 pitches, okay? And I think you would almost go to Paul Skeens and say, Paul, you want to start and see how far 75-ish pitches will take you. And if you get to 75 and you think you got a little more gas in the tank, we can go further. Or do you not start him and say, Paul, we might need you for the 7th, 8th, 9th, or the 8th, 9th, or that, we need you to get 1 or 2 guys out in the 9th to save the game and get us a national championship. I think you look at it that way, and then you hope either A, you get way up and you maybe don't need him, or B, if you're way down like yesterday, then because he's got an arm worth $40 million or more, you don't throw it. But I think he wants to pitch. You leave it up to him. But Jay Johnson's the coach. He has more information than all of us have about what to do with this decision. And I think that during the day today, they're going to make that decision. And probably somewhere around 4:45 or 5 o'clock, we'll find out what the plan is. Because yesterday, when Jay Johnson was asked, when he got to the park yesterday, he said, what about Paul Skeens? All he would say was he's not available today, meaning Sunday. A comment came on Sunday. And they said, well, what about if you get a game 3? He said, he's not available today. I mean, he played it like he wanted to play it, which he's basically done for the last 7 or 8 weeks. He used to announce the pitchers at LSU sometimes on Bill Franquez's release on Thursday, the advanced release, you would see all 3 guys. And then Jay Johnson just stopped doing that. That's his choice. I get it. So I guess that would be what I would do with Skeens. Ronnie, the question is, what would you do?
I think it's 100% that Paul Skeens is going to pitch today. It's just a matter of how long, right? And we act like, and I get it. It's the modern day, it's the modern era. These guys are in college. They're not professionals getting, $50 million a year. And he's trying to get to the $50 million a year. And what I mean by that is, Paul Skeens has been pitching on 6 and 7 days rest all year long. Okay. Each start has been 6 and 7 days rest, 6 or 7 days rest. When he gets to Omaha, he throws on 4 days rest on this past Thursday. He pitched Saturday, 120 plus pitches. He did the same thing on Thursday. We act like that's a shocking number, but in reality, that wasn't a shocking number up until maybe 10 years ago in Major League Baseball. Guys pitched on 4 days rest for decades. All right. 5 days rest has become the new norm, but it was 4 days rest forever. And you could see that because Hurd pitched on 4 days rest, technically Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Skeens pitched on 4 days rest and they looked fine. Matter of fact, they looked better than ever. And so you can see where 4 days rest is not anything to even talk about. They both threw over 120 pitches. Floyd threw the game of his life. Skeens threw 100 miles an hour in his last 3 pitches in the 120s. So both of them were fine and had no side effects at all of 4 days rest, because that's pretty normal. It was normal for 100 plus years in baseball. So 3 days rest is not crazy either. And I agree with you, Tommy. I think there is probably a number in that 75 range. Not to say that Skeens couldn't go 120 pitches today. They're just not going to allow him to. I don't care if he throws 100 miles an hour every pitch. They're not going to let him go over 100 pitches today on 3 days rest. I don't see a scenario where that happens unless he's just literally willing to like UFC this thing and fight everybody who tries to come to the mound.
Well, and the other thing, I mean, he's a physical specimen. As you said, Ronnie, his last couple of pitches, number 121, 122, and 123, doesn't have 100 miles an hour. So he can do it. And if he throws tonight, he can sit down for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long he doesn't want to touch a baseball, So I think that he's there to win a national championship. Everybody in the LSU dugout is there to win a national championship. And I think he is going to be on the mound. I just don't know the exact role.
I would put him. I would put him as the first guy, Tommy. I mean, like you start talking about closing or back in, and you might never get there. It might be 5-0 by the time he takes the mound.
Which would lend credit to the thought of you got to put your stud out there. You put your ace out there. You put It's like when he threw on the 4 days rest. Some people's hair got on fire, but Jay Johnson put his best guy on the mound, and if you're gonna lose it, you want to lose with your best guy. You don't want to not start him. Then all of a sudden, Florida gets up 7-0, and you can't scratch back, because then the question will forever be, what if you would have started him? So I tell you what, not listening to your thoughts, putting it together with my thoughts, I think he will be the starter tonight. The question will be the pitch count. How long does he go? How far can he? 75 pitches, realistically, at 15 pitches an inning, he could get to the 5th.
Could give you 5 potentially.
And if he comes in the dugout as a coach, I got plenty of gas in the tank. Run me back out there. I'm trying to get some more outs. Now, he throws a lot of pitches because he strikes so many people out. We all know it's easier to get a guy to pop up or ground out, on less pitches. But he's a strikeout guy throwing 4 pitches for strikes. I'm going to bet a Diet Coke he's the starter tonight, and that's as of 9:45 this morning, but certainly I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Hurd and Cooper, I think, are going to be your first 2 in.
Now, Cooper wasn't there last night. He had a stomach problem. He was not in the park last night. He was in Omaha, obviously, but he had a stomach reaction or illness, so he was not even
I did not see that. I was at Pete Goolsbee Field getting ready for our game, was there all game, kind of watching on my phone, half out of one eye, and getting everything ready, for the field and whatnot. So I did not know that. He didn't look after the game. He did look after he pitched the other day. He looked like he was almost like hyperventilating, like he wasn't feeling 100%. I wonder if it started on Saturday. But that's interesting to see. I thought Hurd would be first in anyway tomorrow, and then. I'm drawing a blank, Tommy. The freshman lefty,
Griffin Herring.
Obviously Herring's available today, and Hurd. I think Hurd's going to be first in. Herring's available, and unless Cooper just is physically unable to, then obviously he would be available. If you got to start getting past those 4, you're not winning this game.
Right. Well, and you got to hope that in conjunction you score a bunch of runs, not the 3 they had yesterday. Got the late bomb from Joban, but it's baseball. We don't know what's going to happen. LSU's a favorite in Vegas, minus $1.48. Wow, that's big, and especially because history favors the team that wins game 2. In the 10 times this has gone 3 games, they started the best 2 out of 3 thing in 2003. So that's 21 seasons now, and history would favor the winner of game 2, which obviously was Florida. Well, Ronnie, I told a bunch of people last night and today, I'd rather lose 24-4 than 5-4.
Right.
Because then you're 5-4, you're running it back through your head. You're thinking, oh man, what if? Now you just like skip the whole thing, put the little toilet in the dugout and flush it. That's over. You can do nothing about yesterday's game. Not a damn thing can be done about it, but you can affect today's game. And that's a little cliche, but it's the facts. It's the truth.
So it's interesting because everybody remembers. I mean, it's been referenced a bunch in the last 24 hours. In 1997, Saturday, prior to the final series of the regular season, LSU Alabama in Tuscaloosa, which, by the way, Tommy, I did a Jumbo Tours private trip. I rented a bus from North Baton Rouge. That was a sketchy bus. I sold seats on this bus. We stayed at a Hampton Inn in Tuscaloosa, and I sold seats. And I think my number, like, to break even and make money was like 24 seats or something. Everything over 24 seats, I made money on. This thing, you got your. I think it was, I can't remember. It wasn't much. It was a couple $100, and you got charter bus on Friday, return Sunday after the game. You got 3-game series tickets to Tuscaloosa for that weekend series. Hotel stay Friday, Saturday, double occupancy. You had to pay a little more if you wanted single occupancy. I had a VHS recorder on the bus. We were playing old LSU baseball game tapes. I actually left a couple of VHS tapes on the bus of me pitching that I never got back. And LSU got beat 26-2 or something like that. 27-2, 28-2. Doug Thompson was starting pitcher. Blah blah blah. Worst beating ever. And then the very next day, LSU won, beat Alabama, and won the SEC championship. And of course, went on to win the Natty against Alabama a month later. So there's precedent. It is baseball. It's not football. There's no carryover from one day to the next. Yeah, their hitters are feeling pretty good about themselves, but they're facing a whole different group of pitchers, all resetting. So I think LSU will be fine. They'll be able to flush this. And it'll be sweet for LSU if, in fact, they do win. Everyone will forget about this blowout. But if they lose, it'll be interesting how the series flipped so dramatically from one game to the next.
I just got a text from a mutual friend of ours. She saw that LSU's minus $1.48, and I said, "Well, Skeens must be pitching," So that's going to be the conversation all the way until they post the lineup, or one of the reporters maybe gets a little whisper from Bill Franquez or Jay Johnson as to what the plan
I wonder who the old Alabama coach is betting on today.
That's a good one, Ronnie. But so you saw they brought in a guy to take his place, and they elevated the interim coach to
Well, they should. They made it to a super regional.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be the conversation all day. You and I are going to answer a lot of text messages and questions about that, and that's fine. Hey, they're playing for a national championship tonight. Don't lose sight of that. Okay. Now, anything else on the game? I want to shift gears to Dylan Crews.
Well, regarding the game yesterday, I mean, imagine being a fan, Tommy, that flew up just for that one. Could only make one, flew up just for that one. But listen, hopefully if you went just for that one, you stuck around for tonight. I did not think LSU would sweep this series. And obviously I said on Sports Shorts Radio on Saturday morning, I'm not happy about it. It's just how I felt. I thought LSU would lose this series 2 out of 3. And hopefully I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. Absolutely. I'm hoping LSU can piecemeal this together. Florida is set up. Their bullpen is set up. They've got their regular rotation. They've got their guy who's got a little motivation, right? Jack Caglianone, who was a finalist for the Golden Spikes. He didn't win it. Dylan Crews did. I'm going to let you talk about that. But it's set up for Florida. They've got the momentum. They've got the rotation. They don't have to worry about, is their starter rested? Do we have limitations? No. They can go get it. They're fired up. They're swinging the bats as hot as anybody ever has right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, and it'll be fun. Hey, Dylan Crews, Ronnie, I did the math. There's about 110,000 Division I college baseball players. Now, I know that the majority of them have no shot at winning the Golden Spike, but they only give out one of those awards. And Dylan Crews, some people say the best ability is availability. He never missed a game this year. Oh, by the way, he got on base at least once in every single game, including the last 4 last year. So, I mean, he's the best player in America. He's going to be the first or second pick. Pirates pick first. Nationals pick second. We'll see what happens with all that. But Dylan Cruz's 3-year career at LSU, 2-time SEC Player of the Year. The numbers he's put up, they speak for themselves. The leadership, the way the guy handles the media, the way he handles things off the field. Mom and dad are great people. I've been lucky enough to meet both of them. And truly, you can argue for Paul Skeens winning the Golden Spikes. You could probably argue for Cags from Florida. But Dylan Cruz is the best college baseball player on the planet, and he wins the award deservedly so. I'm happy for him. And it's great for LSU that he won it, and great for Dylan Cruz.
Eddie Furness arguably could have won that award. He won the Dick Hauser Award, which is kind of like the second big national award. The Golden Spikes is still the Big Daddy. That's the Heisman, and then the Dick Hauser is right there next to it. There's been so many great players that have come through LSU that could have won it. In my mind, Tommy, I think Dylan Cruz deserved to win it, and I think there's a little bit of a lifetime achievement award attached to this. He's been such a great player for 3 straight years, and he was a preseason favorite to win it, and he did nothing but live up to that hype. But Skeens or Cruz for one season, I would take Skeens over Cruz this year. This LSU team doesn't host a regional without Paul Skeens. You take Paul Skeens off this team, Tommy. Woo! I mean, now retrospectively, knowing what we know with all the injuries and how bad some guys were, disappointing years, if you take Paul Skeens off this team, you don't host a regional, and you're battling to get into an NCAA tournament. I truly believe that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, he is the reason. And if Dylan Cruz did not play this year and you had Paul Skeens, you're clearly still in a regional, okay? Because there's a lot of good players on this team, a whole lot. So, yeah, that's a good point. But I'm not disagreeing with you at all on that.
And the other part to that is, Dylan Cruz isn't on this team. And, again, we're just going with the roster that we have. Obviously, if Dylan Cruz wasn't on this team, they'd be in the portal. They'd have had a guy. But, like, if you'd have let Paxton Kling play center field, all year long, who's a hell of a player and a 5-tool player, you would have been fine. You wouldn't have been the same. But you'd have been fine. And by the way, if you didn't have Dylan Cruz on this team, you'd probably let Paul Skeens hit. Paul Skeens, who arguably is a major league prospect as a hitter. If you don't have Cruz, you probably let him DH, and his numbers are going to be 340 with 15 homers or something like that.
Or so. But and Ronnie, my senior year, I played against the Golden Spikes Award winner Augie Schmidt from the University of New Orleans. He was a shortstop, and he was clearly the best baseball player any of us saw at the time. You didn't have the internet, and you didn't know about the guys in Illinois and out west as much. But he played short, and if he caught the ball, you were out at first. I mean, he had an absolute gun across the diamond and hit for power. Augie Schmidt. I was
1982, right?
82. I squared off against him. The year before that, Terry Francona won the Golden Spikes. So we heard about him out at Arizona. But Dylan Cruz, I tip my hat to you, man. They only give out one of them awards, and you got it. And I'm happy for you and your family and LSU, and it'll be fun watching the rest of Dylan's career going forward after tonight.
What's funny is that most people would definitely not get the trivia question, which is name the school that first won the Golden Spikes in the state of Louisiana, UNO. Name the school that first went to the College World Series in the state of Louisiana, UNO. Everybody would think LSU and Ben McDonald. Most people don't remember Ron Maestri and the Golden Spikes in the 1984 College World Series UNO Privateers.
Well, Ron Maestri, he put baseball on the map in the 70s with some great players and guys that got to the big. Brian Snitker, the manager of the Braves, played for Ron Maestri in the 70s. Okay,
so did Paul Maneri.
Yeah, Paul Maneri, and we go on and on and on. From Randy Bush on that, Mike Quaddy, who ended up being a major league manager briefly. But Ron Maestri, he gets a ton of the credit. He's in the Hall of Fame in New Orleans. He should be. Field's named after him at UNO, just like we got Skip Bertman Field. A little bit ahead of his time, but Man, what a coach and a great guy. I'm lucky to have him as a friend after competing against him for so many years.
Yeah, runs in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And actually, when LSU won a few of those national championships, he's the guy that presented the trophy to Skip Bertman as he was the head of the NCAA baseball, committee at the time.
He's a legend. He's a legend. And Coach Macy, he watches our show sometimes. Hopefully he's watching today.
All right. So, tonight, there's going to be 22,000 LSU fans and probably 3,000 Florida fans in that stadium. Tickets, by the way, in the lower bowl, talked to a broker friend of mine, said anywhere from $600 to $800 a ticket to be in the lower bowl, anywhere near, first base to third base behind home plate, if not even more for the better seats. It's incredible what this thing has become. If you've seen video and pictures, Tommy, from the team hotel, it looks like the Beatles are staying at the team hotel in Dallas. I
want to bring up something else. Jordan Thompson, okay? The social media and this talk and the conversation. Yes, he's slumping. He's got snakes in his head. He's in that mode right now. He's at shortstop saying, please don't hit me the ball. That's his thought right now, unfortunately. But he's a good baseball player. He's done a lot of good things. He's had a lot of big hits. He's just a terrible time to have a terrible slump when all eyes are on him. And they pulled him out late last night and put Nippo at short. And I'm sure Jay Johnson said, hey, don't worry about today. We'll talk to you later. But he's going to start at shortstop today. And there are a lot of people out there, a lot of former players, some of your old teammates are saying, hey, I hope he gets the big hit. I hope he, makes the diving catch, whatever it might be today. Because everybody that's ever played this game of baseball has went through a slump and went through a rough time. He's going through it at an inopportune time, but believe me, he's 10 times, a million times better at baseball than most of the people saying they should cut him and send him back home and all this stuff. That's ridiculous. I get it, the passionate fans. I get it, passionate. You don't like to see the guy 1 for 29 or whatever he is lately and made a couple of errors yesterday. So, he's just got to, quit thinking, take a deep breath and go play baseball. Trust the fact that there's a reason he's starting at shortstop for a team that's playing for a national championship.
For years, he was a starter. This is a kid
go
who
easy on him, okay?
This is a kid who verbally committed to LSU when he was 14 years old, recruited by Nolan Cain from California. Never wavered on his desire to be a Tiger whenever they were changed coaches. He's a guy who loves LSU, and I really, I'm shocked that it's been so bad the last month, because unfortunately he had a really good year going. Think about it. The first half of the season, his defense was incredible, and LSU was near the top in the country and fielding percentage. The second half, they came down to reality. And then in the last month, they just haven't been very good. But the catching hasn't been good. A lot of mistakes back there. And the shortstop play has not been good. And I don't know why that is, but it is in the last month. But, yeah, he doesn't deserve the personal attacks in the memes and all that kind of stuff online. Bro, if you ain't got something nice to say, don't say anything at all. These guys are in college playing baseball, trying to do the best they can. It's disappointing. They don't have another option. Napolt's hitting under 200. Could he field it maybe better? Sure. But he's not going to get any better offensively, I can assure you. We saw it enough all this year to know that.
And let me remind people, in 2000, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but Brad Cressy was 1 for 23 or 1 for 24 when he came to the plate and knocked Ryan Theriot in, Bill Daly coaching at third, to win the College World Series, the walk-off base hit against Stanford. And Cressy had struggled. A great catcher, probably the greatest all-around catcher to ever play at LSU. Skip Bertman told me one time he don't think Cressy ever not blocked the ball. Now, I'm sure one got away sometime, but you know how a coach is. But so remember that. Cressy got that hit, and Jason Van Buskirk just made the same comment that I'm alluding to here. So, would it be storybook if Thompson hit the walk-off bomb tonight, or he made the diving catch at short, moving to his left or right, that, was the final out of the game? It would be great. And because, look, Ronnie, you played baseball. You had teammates that struggled, guys that were really good. I don't know if Todd Walker ever not hit the ball, but you had guys that Jason Williams never missed a grounder. But you had guys that were great players, very good players who went through a slump. I mean, Alex Bregman, he had that 3 for 52 stretch at LSU at one time. And now he's got, gazillions of dollars playing professionally. So, Thompson just got to figure out how to clear his brain. You got to reboot it, delete it, and just forget all that. And it's easier said than done. But I can promise you, nobody wants to do things the right way more than Jordan Thompson. That's my opinion.
Couple of little programming notes. The Rougarou, the Baton Rouge Rougarou, second place currently in the TCL. They will be the next home game will be on Friday night. Thanks to Gordon McKernan, injury attorney in Baton Rouge and all over the South for that matter. Free tickets this Friday night. All you got to do is walk in. You don't even have to pay. You don't have to show a ticket, nothing. It's all free thanks to Gordon McKernan this Friday night. He will be there. He actually is going to be coaching first base for the first inning of the game. Gordon McKernan is going to be first. We got a little surprise how he's going to arrive. He's going to be coaching first the first inning.
I know how he's going to arrive.
Yeah.
I can predict that. I'm going to hold on to it. And am I correct that there'll also be fireworks Friday night? Like
the
last
Jerry
Friday,
Lane Enterprises extravaganza.
Spectacular. Oh, man, I can't wait. I got it posted on the screen. Home Friday, also home Saturday. But Friday night we need you at Pete Goolsbee Field for that. A lot of special things are going to happen. Don't forget Wednesday, July 5 at Alex Fox Stadium, Skip Urban Field, a Texas Collegiate League All-Star game. So a lot of stuff coming up. We'll remind you later this week, but Friday the 30th, circle it on the calendar right now.
Yeah, and also, speaking of Todd Walker, he's up in Omaha. Obviously, David DeLucci's up in Omaha. They're both working for the SEC Network, both from Baton Rouge. Todd and I will be working together right after Omaha. There's the Geico High School Baseball National Championships start tomorrow in Dallas, Dallas Baptist University, and it'll be a Tuesday through Friday. All the games will be on the ESPN Plus app, and then Thursday semifinals at 4 and 7 will be on ESPNU. And the finals Friday night will be at 7 o'clock on ESPNU. Todd will be doing this week. Todd will be doing the Thursday and Friday games on ESPNU. I'll be doing the dugout reporting on Thursday night on ESPNU, but I'll be at the Rougarou game on Friday. But on Tuesday and Wednesday, I'll be doing color on all those games up in Dallas. So check it out on the ESPN Plus app. It's the best high school baseball players in America are going to be going at it all week long over in Dallas.
Have somebody get me that info, and we'll help post that this week. Ron, did you see the question on the screen?
What's that? Read it to me.
Jason says, do either of you guys have any eligibility left to get in the bullpen tonight?
You definitely would rather Blake Money throw than me. I can assure you that. We actually had a funny debate the other day, conversation with me and Louis Garcia and Buzzy Heidel and Doug Thompson. Like, all right, could you get an out? Could you get some?
No.
I think I might be able to get one out, Tommy.
No.
Give me a lefty. I think I can get one. And now
I think I could throw one pitch.
I think
I could probably get one pitch to the catcher, okay?
Buzzy can get you an inning. I don't know. By the way, when Cade Beloso hit the homer the other day to give LSU the go-ahead in the 10th, 11th in the extra innings, Doug did it again. He took the headsets off. He went to the back of the booth for a minute and then came back. It's the weirdest thing. Doug Thompson's go-to move on these big moments on the broadcast is, because now they've got the little camera you can see in there, is to take the headsets off, let Chris Blair do all the talking, and walk out of the booth or go walk around the booth and come back. It's strange.
Well, he said on Sports Choice Radio Saturday, he was with us from Omaha, and he said, I don't know the answer. I don't know, but now he's got to think, you see. So let's hope he steps out of the booth at some point tonight, because that'll mean something great happened. Okay, it may be a lead in to, so kind of like you hoped you were wrong Saturday on the radio, and maybe we hope Doug has to exit the booth again, because it'll mean good things.
All right, TK, tell us about Court Street as we get out of here.
Hey, right downtown Port Allen, 805 Court Street. Facebook and Instagram, they put up the lunch specials, the dinner specials, the full-service bar behind me. They do a great job here, Jason and his staff. Couple of minutes from downtown Baton Rouge. Just come over the bridge, exit to the right to Port Allen. Second red light is Court Street. Take that right. Plenty of parking, little patio out front. Kind of warm for that now, but Court Street Cafe. You need to check it out. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Hope to see you here soon.
As far as tonight goes, Tommy, if you tell me that Paul Skeens has a 90 pitch count, an 80 to 90 pitch count, I think he gets through 5 innings. And if he gets through 5 innings, I like LSU. If they don't start him or his pitch count is like 40 or 50 pitches, then I think I have to go with Florida. They've got the depth in the rotation. They've got their regular starter who's had a great year. Opponent batting average less than 200 against. But if you tell me that I've got 5 innings of Skeens to get me off to start, and then I think LSU is going to be tied or in the lead after 5, and then I believe in Hurd, Cooper the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you 100%. Several people texted me this morning, "How you betting the game?" Like, hey, I gotta know who's throwing. I gotta know the pitching plan, and that plan could get out of whack in 2 batters or 4 batters. I mean, so hey, I will be glued to the TV tonight, no question about it. You and I'll be back Wednesday morning for more Sports Shorts. Are we gonna be able to do that with you being gone or what?
We're gonna have a different time on Wednesday, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that. And hey, connect on social media with Sports Shorts Daily. Sports Shorts, connect with me, and you'll have the information. It'll get posted a bunch.
All right, for Tommy Chrysan, I'm Ronnie Rance. Go Tigers! Everybody, positive vibes, and it'd be awesome if Jordan Thompson would have a big game today.
Lucky 7, got to get the lucky 7 tonight. There you go, looking for number 7.
All right, so long, everybody. Like and share this video. Thank you.